Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you again for watching another one of my videos. Sorry it's been so long since I've posted a video. I have been extremely busy. I need to get on the lake. I'm just dying to go fishing. I hadn't got to wet a line and I don't know when. But I'm starting to have withdrawals from not fishing. But anyway, I want to talk to you today. I got 4 baits that if you live in my area, or the fish is doing the same thing in your area as they're doing in my area, they're on the beds. Some may already be done, probably are. And you probably still have a few that hadn't moved up yet. But if you've got that going on in your lake right now, if you've got pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn going on right now, these 4 baits is going to be baits that you are going to want to tie on and go catch some fish. Everybody and their cousin, their uncle is going to be throwing a chatterbait. So I wouldn't even tie one of those on myself. But a swim jig, I'm going to have a swim jig tied on, because not only is that swim jig good for the pre-spawn, the spawn, and post-spawn, the shad spawn is going to be happening soon. And a swim jig is one of the best baits that I've ever used during the shad spawn, because I think it's because most everybody's throwing chatterbait. But I'll tie on the swim jig and go to town. Most of the time I will have a 3/8 swim jig with either a Z-Man Goat, striking, dadgummit, can't think of what they're called. The Goat, or the Zoom Z-Craw, or the striking Menace. A Menace is another good one for for a trailer on those swim jigs. And I don't put them where they're flat most time. I put them where the tails are going to be up. It's going to be in line with your bait, and I seem to get more bites that way. Rigging it like that, because I don't know, it may just be me, but those tails being up like that, it's more like a bluegill tail or a shad tail. You know, the tails are not this way, they're this way. So I rig them that way, and you can throw it out there and give it a straight retrieve back in. Even if you're doing the straight retrieve back in, twitch your rod tip once in a while, make that thing dart up and around, give it some action. But 99% of the time, I'm doing the old Alabama shake, where I'm just sitting there shaking it all the way in anyway. Especially in dirty water. I have caught some big bass on that swim jig in dirty water with the old Alabama shake. I mean, I've been in mud water before and caught big ones on a swim jig. A lot of people say that you need the chatterbait on for muddy water. You don't. That swim jig, giving it that Alabama shake, you got something like a Z-Craw or a Goat or something that's got a lot of movement, a lot of action, is going to move that water, and they're going to be able to find your bait, especially in that dirty water most times, because we've had a lot of rain, so it's going to have the bushes flooded, and I pitch it right up there in the bushes, around the bushes, between the bushes. I start on the outsides of the bushes, or in between bushes if they're close, and then work each side, and then I start pitching in toward the middle, and then cover the whole bush. Most time I'll throw it past the bush, work it beside of it or in between two of them, and then do the other side. And I may even make 2 or 3, 4 pitches on each side, and then start working in toward the middle. All right, that's one bait. The second bait is going to be a prop bait, like a devil's horse, torpedo, just something like that. Those baits are going to explode right now, because you can keep them close to the fish. You can keep it right over the fish's head, and you don't have to move it much to make those blades just barely turn. Give it just a little action. You can park that over a bed, and those fish can't stand it. And most of the time right now, while they're spawning, I've got the bluegill pattern on. Whenever the shad spawn starts and they're garden fry, I'll either throw the bluegill or the shad pattern. The third one that I'll be using is a popper style bait. Especially during the spawning time, I will be using I'll twitch it on slack line, so it makes more of a bloop, little bloop bloop, and it's more like a bluegill popping the top, and it doesn't move it much. It just moves it a very short distance, and it just makes this little bloop, and those fish will come up there and eat it. Just like the prop style bait, I'll be throwing more of a bluegill color right now, and I will set that right on top of targets, right over top of stumps, right beside the brush, right beside a weed line, and the freaking willow grass, like we have in this area on some lakes and rivers. You can get on the outside edge of that and twitch that popper or that prop style bait, and I mean get your line broke. But then back to the popper. If you're not just barely popping it, making it move, making it sound like a bluegill popping the top, you can give it more of a chug, just bloosh, bloosh, or it'll you can make it spit water forward, like a bunch of shad trying to get away from a bass. They'll see that water splashing out in front, and it's more like a shad chasing bass, or bass chasing shad. And then also you can walk them just like a walking style bait. If you have one of the longer poppers, you can twitch it and you can actually make them things walk just like a Zara-spook, and you can have a lot of good reaction bites that way too. They'll come up there and nail that thing. And then the fourth bait that you're going to want to use this right now is a floating worm slash not a spook, fluke. Losing my dang mind today. Either a floating worm or a fluke, and twitch that around cover, around beds, around weed lines, around brush lines. Let it float down inside the inside the nest, and you're going to catch a lot of fish. And floating worms are a blast. The fluke is a blast. Those two topwaters are a blast. And the swim jig is just crazy fun. So try some of those baits out. If you have any questions about where to throw them, how to throw them, what to throw them on, just anything, because this video is already 10 minutes long, leave the comment below and I'll get back with you on the answers. Most of these baits I'll be throwing either fluorocarbon or monofilament. Anywhere from like the top waters, if I'm not in a heavy cover, 10, 12, 14 pound test. The flukes, 10, 12 pound test, the floating worm. But the swim jig is going to be at least 14 pound test, and probably more like 15 to 18 pound test, because I usually throw that in some cover and some gnarly stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. Y'all have a blessed weekend, and I will see you guys out on the water.